Hi everyone and welcome to World Cinema Breakdown. And as usual, I'm your host Utkarsh Raheja. And first of all, thank you so much. Thank you to all of you who've been watching my videos for the last couple weeks because I finally hit 100 subscribers and I just hope this number keeps growing and more if you start joining me and watching my videos. And if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, there's one thing I have to say to you. That little red button, just scroll to it, click it, and you're done. Thank you. So let's move on to today's video. While you guys have joined me. And as you saw the title, it's yet another Marvel project. What can I say? I'm a Marvel fanboy and I'm not going to shy away from Marvel content. So it's a new show called Moon Knight. And first of all, I know nothing about this character because, I haven't really read the comics. But every single Marvel show I've seen in the previous year, because there were a ton of them, and they were vastly different from each other and they were all really great. So even though I don't know anything about this character, I'm really excited for this show to come out in, I believe, 2 months. But let's talk about the cast. I don't know anything about the main cast besides just the main character, Oscar Isaac. I know Oscar Isaac is mainly known for his work in Star Wars. I don't have any experience with Star Wars movies, but I have seen him in Ex Machina. And interestingly enough, he's also one of the main voices in the next Spider-Man movie, the animated one, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. So he's probably been really busy, especially with Marvel these days. But let's just get right into the trailer and, let's see what this is all about. Let's begin.
Hello, and welcome to Staying Awake.
He's chained and locked to his bed.
I can't tell the difference between my waking life and dreams.
Hello, and
Whoa.
welcome to Staying Awake.
So I'm guessing he can't control when he changes, I guess. Oh, Kid Cudi. Okay.
I think I'm losing it.
We'll catch you on. You're bloody useless, Stevie.
Stephen. I can't tell the difference between
Whoa.
life and dreams.
Seems like a white costume. I don't think I've ever seen this costume before.
Lost the contact lens.
Hope you find it.
Thanks.
Did we finally get a reveal of the costume?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're alive. What's wrong with you, Mark?
Who's Layla?
Why did you call me Mark? It must be very difficult. The voice in your head.
It's like a cult sort of thing.
There's chaos in you.
Yeah, clearly he doesn't have control of himself many times.
Embrace the chaos.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Is he a werewolf? Okay, that is a cool costume. Wow. March 30th, okay. Ooh. Wow, okay. So there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, I still don't know what the heck I watched because I don't know anything about him. Is he a werewolf? Is that what it is? And also, he's chained. And the fact that he's chained means he clearly cannot control when he, quote-unquote, transforms. And speaking of the transforming, that scene where we saw, him, like, transforming into his Moon Knight character and, the costume, that was really cool because I think his powers come from an Egyptian god or something along those lines because the costume itself actually even looked like, it basically looked like the wrappings of an Egyptian mummy. And even on the face, you could see that. And actually, the costume looked awfully similar to one of the main villains in, I believe, the second Ant-Man movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I could be wrong, but it looked awfully similar to that one character that's literally losing herself, so to speak. And, if you haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, please go watch it. But yeah, I mean, this looks like a lot of fun, but I'm still confused about how exactly does this fit into the MCU because, in the trailer that we saw, there was no mention of any existing character that has already been put out in the MCU, none of the Avengers or none of the new characters as well. So I wonder how he fits in, and also I wonder if this show is like completely standalone and there is no other MCU character that comes into it, and maybe this is more of an origin story, or maybe this is the way of like incorporating Moon Knight into the MCU, because oftentimes a lot of shows they won't outright tell you like, oh yeah, we also have character X, Y, and Z in the show. Like, for example, when Hawkeye came out, I don't think people, at least initially, knew that we're going to see Yelena in it. So I wonder if we're going to see something cool like this year, maybe, maybe the Hulk pops up or one of those characters, because that'd be cool. And another thing is, speaking of all these new characters, because not only was there Moon Knight, I believe there was the dude who was, there was the guy that everybody was, like bowing down to and worshiping. I believe he has an important role as well going forward. So I wonder how, not only do I wonder how everybody ties in, it's just crazy how lately a lot of the Marvel movies that have been coming out and many of the upcoming ones, including the shows, there's so many new characters, because so far we've seen the same, 10, 12 characters and many movies about those. But now it seems like again and again we're seeing new and new and new faces, because I think it's the build up to the next phase. So I feel this entire phase might be more so the introduction to characters and more of the build up to the main conflict. And then it might end on the beginning of a conflict. So maybe like a new Thanos sort of thing. But still, I still wonder how the heck does he play into all of that? And interestingly enough, the trailer ended with a release date, which was March 30th. So it's only about a month and a half away. But what's cool about that specific date is that literally 2 days later, Morbius releases. And if you don't know about Morbius, Morbius is another Marvel content, and it comes out on April 1st. But as far as I'm concerned, I believe Moon Knight is a part of the MCU, whereas Morbius, while Marvel, is not part of the MCU. But it's just crazy. I mean, I feel like it's going to be an avalanche of Marvel content right as soon as the show releases, because I know Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, and of course Morbius, and then all those movies coming out this year. So I feel like the moment this starts, it's just going to be months and months of great Marvel content, kind of like last year, how I think WandaVision was the first show, and then right after that, a ton of stuff came out. And speaking of WandaVision, I've seen all the MCU shows this past year, and like I said earlier, there are plenty of them, and I enjoyed all of them so much because they had such high production value, because it honestly felt like I was watching a movie, but it wasn't a movie. It was a 6 to 8 episode, maybe 10 episode thing. And speaking of that, this particular show, Moon Knight, I think I read somewhere that this is 6 episodes, and the reason I'm bringing that up is because the fact that it's 6 and not 8 or 10 means each episode has greater value or importance, because you don't have as much time to kind of dive into little things that may not even matter in the long run. So I think it's probably going to just get right to it. But I'm excited to check out Oscar, what was his name, Oscar Isaac, because like I said, he's mainly known for Star Wars, and I don't really have any experience with Star Wars. But yeah, this looks like a lot of fun, and thank you so much for joining me, and please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Peace out.